Colour is stimulating, calming, expressive and symbolic. With the stimulus of light, any tone of colour can create a different physical response. Colour saturates every aspect of our everyday lives. The effects of colour determines the colour of our car, house, clothing, and most of our possessions. In our world of modern technology, colour is used to evoke and persuade the viewer into consumerism. The choice of a polychromatic scheme is what we know of today that has overtaken the once monochromatic scheme that was used for screen and printed media. The choice of colour within branding targets the user to lure them in. Take a moment to think about all the branding that you would see in one day. Advertising on billboards, posters, television, websites, shop windows, and on packaging. How do the colours affect your motivation of consumerism? However, this perception of colour would be altered through the eyes of someone with colour blindness. According to trichromatic theory, colour vision is based on overlap of the absorption spectra of blue, green and red chrome systems in the retina. Colour is created by certain wavelengths of light that bounce from objects before they reach the eye. Just like a painter can create a vivid palette of colour from the basic blue, red and green, so does the brain that creates thousands of colour sensations. Colour blindness or colour defect is described as an inability to distinguish all of the colours that other people can see. The most common colour vision defect, known as dichromacy, correlates to the common red-green colour blindness. The defect is created due to the middle or long wavelength sensitive cone systems that create difficulties in distinguishing particular colours from each other. The cones or colour sensing pigments are found in the retina. As the retina being the light-sensitive layer of tissue at the back of the eye, the amount of light helps determine the colour being seen. If one out of the three cones is absent, hues or shades of red, yellow and green will not be able to be distinguished, and this is what creates colour blindness. Types of red-green colour blindness varying between middle and long wavelengths, and each discriminating one particular colour, either red or green, that affect 2% of the male population. Over 250 million people in the world have some form of colour blindness. The common types of colour blindness are mostly hereditary photoreceptor conditions that affect more types of people than others. The deficiency is due to the faulty colour vision gene on the X chromosome. As men only have one chromosome, the percentage of males who experience colour blindness are higher, with 7% of the male population living with a vision impairment, whereas only 4% of women conduct the blindness. Even though males are more likely to inherit the condition, females are carriers of the blindness and are passed from mother to son on the 23rd chromosome. As being carried by the X chromosome, females need the condition to be on both of the X chromosomes, whereas males only need it on their one, making the chances of receiving the vision impairment nearly double, resulting in 1 in 200 females compared to 1 in 20 males being affected by the condition. Colour vision impairments not only affect the branding and advertising, but also the message it is trying to convey. Colour plays a decisive role when evaluating the quality of the product at point of sale. With the wrong colour and lighting choices within an advertisement, the viewer can create the wrong message while making the product harder to connect to your audience. For example, the colour blue might be considered a brighter shade with the use of natural lighting, confusing the eye on the hue of the colour. With most businesses oblivious to the colour impairment population, they don't know how much it's affecting their business. In general marketing, the use of product packaging and advertising, as well as the choice of colours, have a large impact on the consumerism of the product. For example, usually for sale items, the colour red likes to be used, as it is bright and attracts a lot of attention. Studies have shown that the colour red stimulates activity and behaviour accordingly. For normal colour vision, this would be the case, whereas for red-green colour blindness people, the result is an off-putting dark yellow colour, creating no interest from the consumer. For everyday consumerism, grocery shopping is shelves full of similar products and similar colour branding. With this, it can become very confusing. The colour red is overly used within food branding to catch the consumer's eye. However, it is not for everyone. For those with the impairment, the aisles of food become a sea of yellow. However, those with smart colour branding will know that any product in blue will catch the eye of any consumer. With over 8% of the population diagnosed with colour blindness, branding and advertising designers are taking more consideration with the choice of colour and lighting within their products. Some designers are creating standards that both consider the message of the brand but also the consistent use of colours used to make sure that those with colour blindness perceive the message the correct way. For designers, the use of colour means business. As we see branding almost every day, it can make everyday life even more difficult. A perfect example of poor colour and light choices can be seen with the use of small light-emitting diodes, LEDs, that are complemented with the colour choices of red and green. This is commonly used for car parks and maps for train lines. As explained by Distility, a Canadian branding company created by brand technologists, they explore 4 key questions in creating branding that can be completely understood by those with red-green colour blindness. 1. Does the use of red and green follow our basic intuition that red means stop and green means go? 2. Does the layout and design allow your message to be readily understood by those incapable of distinguishing the colours? The design implications can be complex since the materials, colour mass and hues work together to impact how the colours are perceived by colourblind individuals. A simple approach to this question is to consider whether the message could be readily understood if the red and greens were shades of grey. 3. Would another colour scheme better communicate your message or, at the minimum, not fight against your brand message? 4. Is there a good reason to break the colour rules? Will it help your message stand out, or will it just make it harder for your brand's audience? Colour blindness is not a rare problem that only a handful of people are affected by. It's a widespread condition that encounters many people's lives. With only a small number of branding businesses knowing about the colour-impaired population, colour and lighting choices are being produced for those with normal colour vision. We as designers should take them into account, and the use of colour in conjunction with well-organised layout to create readability and aesthetics. With companies beginning to broaden the concept of colour blindness, colour choices, and expanding the knowledge of the topic, there is hope that red-green colourblind men will soon be able to experience advertising as we all do every day without feeling as if in a different world.
Let's go! There we go.